If you or a loved one are struggling with type 2 diabetes, you should visit the link in the description below. This clinically proven, drug-free program lowers blood sugar to a normal level and can completely reverse type 2 diabetes within just a few weeks. Here's today's video.
The question, how can I avoid developing type 2 diabetes? Answer by Bernard Peake. There might be genetic or cultural reasons why members of a family all develop diabetes. It may be traditional in some cultures to serve extravagantly large meals. Whatever the cause, the solution is unfortunately very simple. You need to do more exercise and lose weight. Even if the underlying problem is genetic, those are still the solution. You need to do this with a lifestyle change. Binge dieting and a single visit to the gym won't work. Find a diet that you can stick to indefinitely. Don't have high sugar or high fat foods in the house. I found Michael Mosley's 5-2 diet to be effective. Walk everywhere you can. Walk upstairs. If you have time, walk back down and up again. Take up hiking or a sport. Exercise is crucial, possibly more important than losing weight. Answer by Jerome Vega. Carbohydrates are converted to sugar in the digestive system. An excess of carbohydrates produces an excess of sugar in the blood. A diet that is lower in carbohydrates produces less blood sugar. Low-carbohydrate diets like the Atkins diet work because meat has no carbohydrates and most vegetables are low in carbs. The consumption of fats helps satisfy hunger but without using carbohydrates that increase blood sugar. This is how the diet works. It may increase cholesterol to some degree in some people, but this is controllable with medications if necessary. Getting your weight back down through diet is the best way to keep from getting diabetes in the first place. At one time, Burger King offered burgers without the bun for Atkins dieters. I found these quite tasty. They came with salad dressing on a bed of lettuce. I also used the fry-up burgers with a can of mushrooms for a low-carb meal. The key to sticking to a diet is to pick one that tastes good. I like salads with Italian dressing. These dressings are pretty much olive oil and vinegar. Doctors generally start those with high blood sugar on drugs such as metformin, which can help control blood sugar. When this is insufficient, then injected insulin will be necessary. Then you'll find it necessary to count carbs to determine the amount insulin necessary to balance out what you eat. The more fancy insulins are also really expensive. My wife, diabetic, goes through her entire Part D Medicare benefit in half a year, even though Medicare Part D now covers the first $3,300. Answer by Ron Honda. While there are lots of factors about who gets type 2 diabetes and when, fundamentally type 2 diabetes is a disease of carbohydrate intolerance. In response to dietary carbohydrate, a large percentage of people get highly abnormal insulin response curves. Their bodies either produce too much insulin, don't clear it like other people do, or a combination of both. It takes years to develop type 2 diabetes. Since it's a problem with insulin, the first thing that most people see are things like obesity, high blood pressure and high triglycerides. Those are the markers of what's known as metabolic syndrome, or imply prediabetes. Even if you're not running around with high blood glucose amounts, the hidden effects of too much insulin are causing all sorts of problems in your body. There are lots of diseases linked to high insulin levels or hyperinsulinemia. How can you avoid it? You need to permanently change your relationship to dietary carbohydrate. How much you need to do this depends on the state of your body. Many people can simply cut back on high glycemic carbohydrates. Other people will need to go further and dramatically reduce their total consumption of dietary carbohydrate. This is the easiest thing that you can do to alter insulin levels in the body. There are other strategies to deal with the insulin issue. The biggest is exercise. Exercise helps insulin sensitivity and can help with the insulin issue. However, don't think you can simply exercise your way out of diabetes. Longtime runner and South African Dr. Timothy Noakes did marathons and fueled himself with glucose. He developed diabetes despite all the exercise. Some researchers are experimenting with the diabetes drug metformin as a means of helping with aging. It is an insulin sensitizing agent. However, I doubt a doctor would give you the drug unless you were already having fairly high blood sugar readings.